Someone wants to send.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to drop that database and.
You dropped it already?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can fix. You can try to fix it but if you did you have a backup for that database?
No.
Okay, so you did the right thing. But if you had a backup, the database could have been recovered.
No.
So
Thank you.
I'm just going to show how to do this in case someone has that later. Go back, go to your, okay. From here, type Arman space target slash. No, target. Like the store. Yeah, space slash.
That's it?
That's it, yes. And when you have an issue like your database is crashed because of a media failure, you issue a advice failure, a list failure, list. List failure allows you to see what are the problems that your database has.
So enter.
Semicolon, enter. Okay, here it says that you have no failure, you have no media, no issue, so you're fine. But usually if it tells you, when for someone who has like data file 1 is not consistent with the background process, or if it says systems 1 is missing or control files each are missing, or whatever media failure you get, after that you do advise failure, right? Advise with S, ADVISE space failure. No, S. Advise, no, without S at the end. Yes, failure. Failure, semicolon. Okay, here it says no failure found that match specification. But if you did, you'd be able, I feel like it's just better if someone actually had the error. And then after that, you just do repair failure. If Arman can repair it, it would tell you that, okay, you can repair your database, like using those backups, or for example, or using archive logs. But if there's nothing you can do, it will tell you to use a physical backup. But if you don't have any physical backup, then there's nothing you can do. You just have to drop the database. But normally you should always have a backup, at least a code backup. Even if it's an old backup from days ago, you should always have at least a backup. And from here, you will just do a repair failure. But you don't need to enter it here because it won't repair anything anyway. But that would fix, like, if you have Arman backups. So I would advise you, everyone, to like run Arman, at least backup all of your database. Like, this is it should be systematic. Every time you create a database and you want to use that database, just back up the database. That should be the first thing you do when you create a database. If you notice on the exam that I sent, you notice that the second question is set database for full recoverability, right? So as soon as it's done, the archive logs will start being generated, right? But it doesn't tell you in the exam that you should back up that database also at the same time.
Excuse me, guys. Can I have permission for the record?
Okay, allow record.
Thank you.
Allow to record now, right?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure. So are we good? Someone else has something has an error with your database or not? Nothing?
Yeah, Emerald.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a problem by multiplex control 5. So every time when I'm trying, they keep saying that the specify initialization parameter cannot be modified.
Okay, share your screen.
Yeah, it's showing like this. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Okay, let me see.
But is it me because he has 1 and 2 at the same time?
What do you mean 1 and 2?
He has control file 01, control file 2, or 2 or 4. I
Oh,
thought
that's why.
yeah, I thought that 1 and 2
Your
are actually
problem
duplicates.
strings, you have string issues. Your problem are strings. Pay attention to what you type. You see, the first one is between strings, like /radida/tdmo control 01.ttl. The second one doesn't have strings. But at the end, it has strings. You see,
Oh,
the next,
yeah, I see.
yeah.
I see.
So that's
I
your
see.
problem. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I'm going to try to correct that and see how they're going to work.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Emerald,
Yes.
I sent you a picture of my enterprise manager. I don't know if you received it yet.
Okay. You can share your screen.
Okay. One second. Oh, okay.
Emma, stop sharing your screen so that she can share hers.
It's not an issue. Oh no. Okay. All right, that's it.
Okay, go to Puri. It's an agent connection to instance failed.
Okay.
But the listener doesn't currently know of the SID of the database. So that error can happen maybe since when you have that error, or maybe if you created the database after starting the listener, it can happen. So that's why sometimes we need to start the listener and then start the listener.
Okay. Can you see the Puri screen? I don't know.
No, I cannot.
Oh, I guess I'm not doing it right. All right, let me share. Okay. Can you see now?
Yes, I can see it now.
Okay.
Okay. Oula. Okay. Listener, stop DB console. Exit tipo. Listener, stop DB console. No. That's not the secret statement. EMCTL, stop listener.
AMCTL stop listener.
Mm-mm.
No, LSRCTL.
LSNRCTL
Yes.
stop listener.
Yes.
Semicolon or
No.
okay.
Just stop. You don't need to add stop listener. Just stop. That's how you stop the
Okay.
listener. Was it stopped successfully? Okay, then start. It was stopped already anyway.
Stop.
It was stopped already.
Yeah, I saw that. Start.
Now she want to start it again. Which database? Okay, wait a little bit. Usually you have to wait a little bit till it shows up. Listener CTL status. The listener supports no service. Let me see. Okay, connect to VNC.
Right.
Connect to your VNC.
Let me start. Okay.
Netka.
Here.
Yeah, Netka.
What?
Somebody said. Wow.
Seriously?
Okay, go to reconfigure listener. Go to listener configuration.
Okay.
Go to reconfigure. Next. Wow. Can someone read that question? The thing is, I don't know who it is.
It's Offeray. Offeray, whatever his name is.
Okay. Let me mute. Okay. If you know you're about to sleep, at least mute yourself. Okay. Stop the listener. Stop it first.
Should I go back and stop it, or should I click yes, stop and modify?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Go ahead. Next. Next. No. Next. Okay. Next. Exit. Finish. Okay. Now run ls listener status. Okay, you need to wait a little bit. Usually it takes a while until it shows. Let's wait a little bit. I can see your screen. Okay.
You can't see it?
No, I can see it now.
Okay.
You have your listener in your database, right?
Yes.
You have your listener connected. Okay. So it just did that all of a sudden?
Not today.
What did you do before it happened? You didn't do anything?
No, I didn't do anything. There's nothing I
Really?
remember that I did that caused it.
Okay. Try again listener status or listener start. Okay, status. Okay, what's the database that you're using?
CM
CMD.
CMO. Yes.
Okay, it should work now. Go back to Enterprise Manager. It should be connected now.
Let me refresh it. Should I close it and restart it or?
No. Don't. Yeah. Refresh it. Refresh it.
Yeah, it's still showing the same thing.
Did you refresh it?
Yes, a couple of times.
You need to wait a little bit.
Okay.
Click on database. They have their database in blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still showing the same thing.
Okay, let me try to connect to your
Okay.
to this computer. What's your student number?
206.
206.
Should I stop sharing?
Let me share. Yeah, yes, you can stop sharing. Let me share my screen. What's your database name?
CMDMO.
CM or CN?
Yeah, CM.
Before doing that, let me see. Wow, it's taking a while to. Okay. 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 Okay, let's see what happened. Failed to connect database at 10:32 p.m. March 14. So you've had that problem since March 14?
I guess.
It's April 8th, right?
Yes.
Okay. So are you sure that you were actually ever able to, did you actually configure your listener right the first time?
Yes, I did.
Well, you've been having that error for a very long time. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Wow, that's your problem. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. But you see your user one is full. You see that here? You see? It's 100% full. That's why you're not able to connect. Here here it says that disk full, as you can see, right?
Oh.
So that was basically, I mean, why did you wait so long to fix that? Anyway. So now what you need to do is free up some space. Free up some space as much as you can. Try to drop it to maybe 90 or 80. Do you have some databases installed in user one, like the data files in user one?
Data files in user one.
Yeah. I mean, you have database files in user one. It
Yeah,
seems
I
like
think that.
because you
I
shouldn't
think
have 100% so early. I mean, you shouldn't even have 100 because you don't have much that you put in user one anyway.
honestly don't know.
But you definitely do because your Aura data is only 3% full. That's abnormal by now because you have multiple database and your Aura data should be at least at 40% or 30% if you're savvy, but it shouldn't be at 3 and here it's 100. It means that the location for the data files are probably in user one. But you know that we have more space in Aura data. You can see for yourself here you have 99 gigabytes in use in
There's 16.
but we only have 16 in user one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how to fix that, right? We did it last time in class.
No, I don't think.
Then you should go and we did it many times here. So I advise you to go back to the notes and to do it. If you do df minus space minus h and then you cd to u01, and when you cd to u01, then you do du space minus sh on to view in which directory you're having issues.
Can you please say it again?
Okay, I'm going to type it. This directory, right?
Yeah.
That's like the user1 directory, the root directory. So basically you would do cd/user1. Okay, and then from here you can just do cd app because you don't have much.
Okay.
Okay, from here what you do is you do du space minus sh or I thought we told you that if you have database anyway, whatever, but you can always change the location of your data files though. They don't have to be there, but I don't think it's DB. I think you guys will see that in DB2. Okay, DU space minus SH. Wow. Okay, as you can see, you have 11 gigabyte in Oracle. So we need to do search Oracle. This. Okay. My bet would be that most of everything is in slash Radita, when that Radita should be actually almost empty. Okay, DU space minus SH. Oh. Okay, you see, you have 1.7 gigabyte in Radita when you shouldn't. You should almost have nothing there. CD data. Okay, you have 1.7 gigabyte in AZDMO. So you want to drop that database. If you can, you should drop that database, because that's, if you do so, you will have almost 2 gigabyte. You save almost 3 gigabyte. For product, it's normal. It's normal that your product is heavy. Your DIAG is actually not that heavy. Your FRA is fine. So yeah, you need to clear that. You know how to clear it, right? You RM all the files that you see, and then you're good.
Okay.
Emerald, I have a question.
Go ahead.
When you schedule an inconsistent backup, how do you keep your database online?
What's an What did you say when you schedule an inconsistent backup?
Yes.
Okay. How do you keep your database online?
Because I scheduled my my backup. My computer was online, and after like 3-4 hours, VNC stopped because the computer was idle.
Your computer doesn't have to be up. Your database should be up, not your computer. Your computer can be shut down, but as long as your database is up, you're fine.
Hold on, say that again.
I said to run an inconsistent backup, your database has to be open. Like,
right.
You cannot have an inconsistent backup if your database is shut down. That would be a consistent backup, right?
Right.
Unless maybe you shut down a board, but anyway, inconsistent backup, your database should be open. So your database has to be open, but your VNC doesn't have to be open. Even your whole computer can be shut down, right? As long as your database is open, the backup will run.
Okay.
Did you try it?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yes, I did schedule it. I left my my computer up. I didn't know. I thought.
No, you
I had
didn't need to leave your computer up. Your database has to be up, though.
Oh, okay. But I can shut down my computer.
Of course. You can even throw it away.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure I was doing the right thing.
Yeah, you were.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, since there isn't any more question, let's go back to chapter 14. Backup recovery. How do you guys like this chapter? I mean, chapter 14 and 15 are almost the same thing. We all good with checkpoint process, right? I'm going to take that as a yes. What are media failures? Some of the media failures that you know, and how to fix media failures. Wow, guys.
Excuse me, what is your question?
My question was, what are some example of media failure, and how do you fix media failures?
This is chapter 14 or 15?
Yes, 14.
14?
I mean, they are both related, right?
Okay.
If you have a corrupt backup, you won't be able to recover, to restore, right?
Yes,
Let's
yes.
say if while your database is up, you try to do a consistent backup while your database is open, right? And you try to apply those backups to recover your database, is it going to work or not? Was my question clear, or should I rephrase it or say it again?
Okay, first, just
You can say that again.
say it again.
Okay, I'm saying if you try to do a consistent backup
Yes.
on an open database and your database crashes, let's say one of your data file becomes corrupt, let's say system 01, what will you do to recover that database? What can be done? And you don't have an Arman backup. Will you be able to use that consistent backup that you ran while your database was open?
Emerald, please, I don't understand the question.
My question is, you guys saw consistent and inconsistent backups, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm saying, while your database is open, you try to run a consistent backup, right?
Somebody talk of the.
I don't know if I can mute that person. Actually, everybody is muted except for Fali and me, I think. Okay. My question is, while your database is open, or by mistake, right? You try to run a consistent backup while your database is open, right?
Yes.
And your database crashes, you have a media failure. Let's say your system 01 is corrupt or your undo, which are critical. What will you do?
Can you recover the file by applying the redo information?
Yes, you can do that. You can do that, but if the file is corrupt, if your system 01 itself is corrupt, you won't be, the redo information will be useless.
Can you go to the flashback?
No, you won't. No, flashback wouldn't work here.
You can inform database about the new file location is failure.
What? What did you say?
No.
Yes.
In that case, can you restore and recover the missing file? Or?
Yes, that's the whole point, right? If your backup is consistent, but you run it while your database was open, that's an error that happens a lot. You think it was a consistent backup, but actually it was an inconsistent one, right? And then you're not able to use those backups anymore. So it's like you don't have any backup, so you crash your database and you can't do anything about it, right? To run a consistent backup, user managed consistent, you have to, after database begin backup, then do the backup, and then after database end backup. Even if you don't end the backup, it will still not be consistent. So there are many things that, or if you run an RMAN backup, well, that's RMAN backup. So it will take care of everything. You just advise failure, repair, failure, list failure. But in that case, you cannot use systems one, you cannot use the backups of that, because you know that all the files needs to be consistent, right? All the files needs to be synchronized, that the SCN needs to be, all of them has to be the same. So even if all your data files are at SCN, let's say 12,000, but if your system 01, if the system 01 file that you try to recover from your corrupt backup, right, is at 11,000 or whatever, 11,000, for example, you won't be able to recover that database. What you try to do is you will try to apply archive logs and try to do a point in time recovery. If you have it, try to do a point in time recovery. And it might work, just like it might not work if you don't have, if you don't have the archive log files or the right ones that are needed for recovery. We good? So every time you run a backup, this should be like a reflex that you do. Every time you create a database, backup that database, do an RMAN backup right away. If you can do an RMAN backup, that's the easiest. Just backup database plus archive logs and you're good. Or just backup database and you're good. Or do also cold user managed backup is also good to do. It's simple, you just shut down your database, you copy all the files to another destination, and that's it. You have that backup. So anytime you make sure that your database is shut down, so that anytime whatever happens, you need to make sure you can recover. For example, for your exam, you need to make sure that you back up your database. Every time you do something relevant, make sure you back up that database in case something happens, right? Because many things can happen. So yeah, you guys have questions about backup and recovery? Chapter 14 and 15 are really close, but if you have a consistent backup, an inconsistent backup, then you're good. You will use the backup, then apply the archive logs, right? So that everything will be synchronized and you're good. But if you don't even have if you don't even have a backup, whether consistent or inconsistent, applying the archive logs wouldn't even help you because you don't even have the backups in the first place, right? So how do you configure your database for maximum recoverability? I think we already say that, right? You schedule regular backups, multiplex the control files, and make sure you have archive logs. I think we are good with chapter 14. Do you guys have questions on chapter 14?
Hello, Emerald. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so when we're configuring our database for maximum recoverability for the regular backups, Professor make sure that told us that all our data files had to be online and not offline. Can you explain that?
Yes, because if they are offline, they are not being written to. So the SCN would not be, checkpoint wouldn't take place, incremental checkpoint wouldn't take place for those files, right? So they would be inconsistent. Does it make sense?
It makes sense, but what if you want some files to stay offline? Would you have to manually do it, like every time, or?
If you want your data files to be online when you do a backup?
No, I mean like if you, because when we're putting in data files, he said we should play around and, just put some offline, online.
Yes.
So if, let's say in the real case scenario, you really want some data files to be offline. So
no, normally you put a data file offline when you want to do something on it. Maybe when you want to fix it or when you want to make changes and you don't want anyone else to have access to it. That's when you put it offline. But usually it shouldn't be offline. It should be online
okay.
Unless you need to make some changes.
Okay, thank you.
Because it's like when it's off, when the data file is online, it's like frozen, right? We saw that the database is like a human being, right? It has bones and it breathes, like it has molecules. So when the data file is offline, it's like that part is like frozen, right? It's not being written to anymore. So it's not really, so if you do a backup, that data file won't be consistent with the rest of the database. So that's why everything should be online.
Okay. All right. But in the case that, so if you don't go and manually put them online before doing the backup, is it gonna not work?
You can just put it online if it's for the sake of the backup, right? Or you'll have to recover it. Just recover data file 12 or 15 or 10. You can just recover it too.
Okay.
But if you don't have the right backups for that, it might pose problem because the SCN would be behind the rest of the database. But when you put it back online, it will just continue, like it would skip to be consistent with the rest of the database.
Okay, thank you.
I think Prof told you that because there is an exercise in DB2 where we do that. For example, you put it offline and then you recover it, you fix it, and then you put it back online. Usually when, for example, a data file is corrupt and you don't want to shut down the database, and you shouldn't shut down the database, you put it offline until you're able to recover it, let's say from an old backup or from a backup, right? You will recover that data file and then you put it back online, so that you don't have to shut down the database, you don't have to stop the database. But if the data file is fine, doesn't have any problem, then let it be online. So someone else. I hope that makes sense though. For practice, okay, but you let your data files be online.
So, Emerald, could you please quickly explain the echo command that we use while we're creating the database? Again, I think I missed it.
Okay. Echo command is basically like print. Do you guys do SQL script? No. Okay. Echo command is basically like a print command. So it's basically used to show, like, it's like print. Exactly. It's just like print, just like it allows you to read. It's like saying write that line into that directory. That's basically what it is. If it says echo open strings, hello world, close strings, greater sign twice, /etc or /oradata /myfile.sql, right? If you enter, if you issue that SQL, okay, let me do it. You guys can see my screen?
No.
You can see my screen. Okay, let me try to share my screen again. I can share my screen. What's wrong with that Zoom app? Jesus. Okay, give me a second, guys. Okay. Lala. Can you guys see the screen? Not yet, right? Okay. Mm-mm. Oh, it's not my database. Oh, my bad. Connect to mine. Okay, let me start sharing. Okay. Okay. Now let's see. Can you guys see? It's full screen.
Yes.
Okay, the echo command is simply when you issue echo is like print. So basically, like, here echo is like saying print or write into, basically saying write into this directory, write into this directory, right? Meaning user1/app/oracle in the TNS name.ora file, write everything that is between the strings, right?
Okay.
So that everything that is between the strings is going to be written into that specific directory, right? We can
Right.
do that for practice. We can try. Let's create a file. Where are we? Okay, let's create a file. Let's say try that show. Right? So we created a file, try that shell. Now let's echo. Let's say hello. Now we are in slash Aura data script slash Kriya DB slash delete slash trial. Oh, it's try, right? Try that shell. Okay. That should be Let me check. Yes, that should be. Okay, you see, you just put echo, and then you put hello everyone, and then we enter the full path for that data file. Now let's try that shell. You see, we have hello everyone. You see?
Okay.
So it only allows you to write whatever you want to write into a file, which is a very useful command when you try to clone or when you quickly want to create database, so you don't have to every time go to the directory, you know, on WinSCP, look for the TNS name files, skip. It takes a lot of time. So it saves you time to just run a simple command and, you know, you're done. Are we good with the echo command now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. What is the MTTR advisor? Hello?
I think it advises you on how long it takes to recover your database.
How long it takes to recover?
Yes.
Yes. All right. It allows you it helps you evaluate how long it should take to recover from a crash, right, of an instance. From a system failure or from a media failure.
So Emerald, still
Yes.
going back to the MTTN, like in the Oracle, in the
MTTN or MTTR?
MTTR. So in the Oracle, in the OEM, where you see the MMTR, there's a place that says that gives you the options to choose the amount of time that you want to recover your database.
Yes.
So why is that for? Actually, I know what it is for. The professor already explained, but shouldn't the database take as long as it needs to recover?
Shouldn't database should take as long?
No, I mean, like if the database needs to recover, like
I mean, that's the maximum value that you said, right?
Okay.
Let's say 1 hour, that's the maximum. It shouldn't be above 1 hour, right? For example, if there is a system failure or media failure, you said that whatever happens, you need to make sure that database should be up, right? By using the MTTR advisor. You configure it so that the downtime shouldn't be over 1 hour. because it depends on what the issue might be. Sometimes for database to be back up, it might not take just 1 hour. It might take 24 hours, right?
Right.
But it can also be just 10 minutes. It can be 5 minutes. So it depends. As you can see, the maximum value is 1 hour. So it should be below that, right? So regardless of what happened, you need to make sure that it's less than that, right? I mean, I don't know if that helped, or I'm not sure I got your questions. Are you saying that it should be fast anyway?
No, my question is like, why do you have to set a time for recovery? You know, and you said that it shouldn't be a certain amount of time.
Yes.
So what if the database needs more time than what you
That's
said?
what it is. The database needs whatever the amount of time you need. It needs to make sure that it's less than that time, even though it requires 24 hours, right? You need to do whatever you can, use backups, use switch files, for example, switch from the live location to the backup location. You need to make sure that it takes less than 1 hour, for example, or takes at 15 minutes. There are different things that can be done, even though there is like a media failure, even though there are files missing, that can allow you to recover your database as fast as possible, right? It's just that you have not seen it yet, but there are many things that can be done to reduce as much as possible the time to recover. You see?
Yeah.
Even though it's not your database as normal, right? As like all the original data files, even though your database is reading from backup files, for example, at least your database was up within 15 minutes. Does it make sense? Even though for you to recover all the live files, like the data files that normally belong to live location, even though normally it would take 24 hours to recover because they have heavy files, but it just says that your database should be up at the uptime. The downtime shouldn't exceed, let's say, 15 minutes, right? So there are many different things that can be set up so that the downtime doesn't exceed, for, say, 15 minutes. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
But you, the DBA in the background, of course, you would need to make sure that everything that is corrupt in the background, you make sure that you fix it, and then you bring it back up to normal again, maybe after 24 hours or 48 hours.
Okay.
I mean, you guys will see that in depth in DB2, but there are many different things that can be done. And it's very important, even because sometimes, I mean, we are dealing with very small files here, right? But in real life, in real work environment, they are very, very, very heavy files. And for you to just recover one can take you hours and hours, but you won't, let's say it's a system01 file. You won't let your database be down for 4 hours because you need to recover, right? So that's why we have to set it that one.
Alan,
Yes.
I bet you send me a number for group or tap after.
Okay. Now we talk.
Joseph. Was story after.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Let me ask someone else. Fali. Fali, are you here? Ronaldo, are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you good with the MTTR?
I was not here. I'm sorry. I was dealing for one problem. That's all.
Okay. What's the MTTR? You know that it's the mean time to recover, right?
Yes.
Now, what's the MTTR advisor?
I forget. I don't have my brain. Can you explain for me just a little bit? I know you was explaining for people about, but I wasn't phone. I was dealing for one problem as well.
Okay. Basically, the MTTR advisor, right, allows you to specify the amount of time you want to recover in case of a crash, let's say a system crash or media failure, right?
Yes.
And it allows you basically, if you want, let's say you want your instant restore, or after a crash, let's say you want your database to be able to be up after like 15 seconds or 20 seconds, the MTTR advisor would basically enable recovery in that desired time, right? So it will make sure that there are different parameters that are enabled so that your instant recovery can be within the time that you specified, right?
But this time, the DB can change this time, can manipulate this time.
The what?
The DBA.
Of course, the DBA is the one who sets, right? Who says the desired mean time to recover. You set it, right? Either in minutes or in seconds.
Okay.
Now, of course, it shouldn't be too long, because if it's too long, then it would take a while for you to recover after a crash, right?
Okay. Thank you for backup.
What did you say?
I said thank you for your go back.
Yeah, no wrong there. It just enables you to specify for how long it takes to perform crash recovery, right?
Thank you so much.
Okay, you guys have another question? You guys have an example of automatic instant recovery that you know of? Can someone give me an example? Automatic instant recovery, where you don't need to do anything. Hello? Renalda, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah, can you give us an example of automatic instant recovery? Where recovery it's performed in the background, but it's as if it didn't really occur. You have an idea?
Does it happen when you do a consistent shutdown and you open back the database?
Did you say consistent shutdown?
I'm saying when you have a consistent shutdown and you open back your database, does it automatically recover without doing?
Yeah. Did you say consistent or inconsistent?
Consistent.
No, wrong.
Inconsistent, I guess.
Yeah.
I think one of the databases they shut down in a one you was not expect this database could be shut down.
No, even if you issue, you know that shutdown abort is inconsistent, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And for shutdown abort, you know that it requires recovery as started, right?
Yes.
But even when you do start shutdown abort, you won't really feel like anything was recovered, because when you start up your database, yeah, oh, it just starts again, you know? But recovery did take place, right? Automatic recovery took place, right?
Yes,
because all the transactions were rolled back, and then it was recovered to the last synchronized SCN for the entire database. So even though you don't really see that, or you don't really feel like it occurred, but recovery did take place, right? So are we good?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Emera. So if I understood, once you shut down about and then the back where the recovery takes place and the database is up. So when it's up now, when the uncommitted will be flashed back, right?
Yes, you mean rollback, right? Not flashback.
Yeah, rollback. Sorry. Yeah, rollback. Yeah, rollback.
Yes.
That's immediately once the database is set is already up after the recovery has taken place. Then the uncommitted transaction will be rolled back.
The transaction are automatically rolled back.
Okay.
Because
that's what I'm saying. Are they rolled back after the database has been started up, like after recovery has taken place, right? That's when they have to.
After the copy has been taking place?
No, I said after the recovery has taken place and the database has been opened.
As soon as you shut down abort, right? The transactional roll back. As soon as you shut down abort, everything is rolled back.
All right, thank you.
All the users are disconnected, and it's when you start up again, because when you, let's say, when you shut down abort right away, you might start up your database after 2 days, right? So the change will not remain uncommitted, right? So it's right away that everything is rolled back, right? And every user is connected. And then it's when you start up again that instant recovery will be required, right? must take place. It's just that it's automatic incident recovery, so you don't really have to go and apply archive logs and read logs.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So that's one example. Very good. You guys have another question, maybe? Oh, someone has to record. Belu has to record. So in Oracle, there's a lot that's done in the background. It can be compared to a human, right? We have a lot that's being done in our bodies. Like God made a lot of things work so that we can breathe and be fine. And so in the database, it's the same. The DBA comes and maintains and does a lot of things, of course, but a lot of things are taken care of already in the background. Did you guys try to work on what I told you like on Sunday, or you guys didn't?
Emma, could you repeat your question?
I'm asking if you guys tried to work on what I told you last time, or if you guys didn't.
The exam parties?
Yes, not the exam, right? Okay. Whatever. I sent the link to all the group leaders who sent me their emails. And if you didn't get the link and your group leader, it's not my fault because you didn't send the link to me. So I don't know if you guys are preparing for the exam or not, but honestly, it would be a good opportunity for you. Okay, now let's go back. You guys.
Oh no, how many questions coming for this exam?
Which one?
No, the SQL exam.
Usually it's like 70 questions or 67.
Now we are required to answer all of the questions.
Of course.
Wonderful.
You have to answer all the questions. Just that your passing score is 65%.
It's the same thing like all the questions now. And you did mention of something I really need to know. Like you said, taking it online now, which is advantageous to us. Like, can we use like another machine beside us, beside your own computer to take it?
Yeah, you can use someone else's computer, of course. No, you can use someone else's computer.
Oh, they're not going to like detect that, right?
No, they won't. You just need to make sure that you're alone, because sometimes they will check the whole room. They check your room if no one is there. So just need to make sure you're alone in your room. Sometimes they won't check. Like when I took mine, they didn't check the room. But sometimes they do check. Like if they hear, like maybe if you have kids, the kids are making noise, right? They'll check. They'll check. I mean, the best is like take your kids maybe to your end, or do it elsewhere, maybe with some friends, you know, that they don't have kids or something like that.
Now then it's easier that way. Just do copy and paste from another machine. Just copy and paste.
No, you cannot do that. You can. It's monitored. You cannot cheat like that.
It's multiple choice now.
Yeah, it's
when
multiple.
I say copy and paste, I mean like you just scroll down to the question, you just see the answer. If it's A, you just know it's A and you just do it. That's what I mean.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's make sure you
answer. Now answer we never exam. You're very.
No, it's the same thing. The people we saw it last time. The people coming do this one, and like 11, 12 is the same exam.
11G and 12C are not the same, right?
No, I saw people coming to on the school and the Bontech by 11 for do the same one exam. Is the same exam?
They came to do which exam, the sequel or the 12C OCA?
I don't know. That's ask it so just oh, people you can leave.
No, I don't know. I don't know when people were coming to take the exam. I don't know.
I think that was the OCM.
Okay. I didn't know. But you guys, seriously, take advantage. Try to take that, try to study and take that exam. Because there is a lot more that needs to be done. In project, you just keep having projects coming up, keep studying, going back to DB1 studies, going back to DB2, and then. So it's just, if you can get it out of the way now, that would be good.
Emerald,
Yes.
what is the best, like the grade?
The best what?
It's for the exam. Like me that I have 85.
The minimum is 65 to pass, right?
So I have 85.
So you got plenty of room to actually get wrong answers.
No, I have 85. So is it good?
You had 85 for that exam?
Yeah.
That's really good. So you passed, you're good.
Okay.
They say 65. You say you had 85. Then the ask, is it good? It's bad.
It's good. You passed the exam if you're at 85 for that OCA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you passed that.
Okay. Thank you.
I said, bro, trouble their question. They say 65 na pass.
No, you can meet me. You can meet. I'll help most of you guys, man. You know what you can do. Oh, when I know you overstress on yourself. When I know you overstress on yourself, that thing, all that thing, does not pass. You say, you check them. I will give the headline.
Confirm. Est-ce que we take them before?
No, tap me. We'll discuss that one.
Is that English?
I'll tap you. Group is quiet.
Yes, man. We are talking English, oh.
No, that's definitely not English.
That's pure English.
I said, now the talk self without 85, so I beg. That name, if I none, I will forget that.
Brian.
Confirm.
Yeah.
In English. We don't hear how it's talking.
Anyway, guys, just organize yourselves to take it. Organize yourself to take it and take it ASAP. That would be really good.
Okay.
Okay. If someone has it already, that's good. That person can help you. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
All right.
Hello, Prof.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I was good until now.
Why? The evening class, right?
Evening class. No.
I know.
They don't ask any question. They don't answer anything. They just sit and watch me. So I guess I'm very excited to be here too. All right.
Why you say that, Prof?
Because that's exactly how I feel.
Good evening, Prof.
Oh my God.
You know, one of the things which I told you is that I'll never lie to you. I'll tell you how I feel.
Good evening, Prof.
Good morning.
Prof, you don't need to do and jackal and so on. Even smile small, Daddy.
Yeah, I'm very smiling. You can't even see my face. All right, I'm ready for any questions. This is the hard part, Emerald. Keep listening to them. I'm ready for any question. Now, you pull, it's like you are going to pull somebody's teeth. You'd rather go to the dentist than to ask a question.
I know.
Yes. Any questions? I'm available. Everybody's muting now, eh? Mute. And then when I start teaching, someone will say, this thing is not working. Which is not a question. I need somebody to ask any question on anything.
Hello, Prof.
Huh?
I said hello.
Oh, hello.
I have a question.
You're going to speak aloud because I'm having a difficult time hearing you. Or you increase your machine volume.
Are you hearing me now?
If you speak aloud, I will hear you. It's low.
I'm speaking aloud.
All right.
Okay.
Very good.
I have to shout. I've noticed that when you multiplex, when you use the command from the SQL command to multiplex the Redo-log members, you have to drop the Redo-log group first for all the Redo-log that are inactive. I want to know if it's a must that you have to drop it, and if yes, why? Before adding members.
You don't have to drop it. If you put the command just to add, it will add. You don't have to drop the group first. That person who did it for you just showed you how to do that. But if you go and type add member to Redo-log group, you will see exact command. Alter, right?
Yes, sir.
So yes, you can add a Redo-log. You can add Redo-log members to a group.
Irrespective of the group. Irrespective
of what?
Of the state of the group, if it's active, inactive, or current.
No, if it is current, you cannot do anything with the current group. You must switch it over before you can add it. You cannot even drop a current. Nothing can you do with the Redo-log group that is current. It's writing to it. Manipulating it when it is current is, and if you're on archive log mode, you cannot even do it when it's active because it is being copied. You must wait for it to be inactive, then you can do whatever you want to do with it. If the log writer is writing and you add it there, then they are no longer the same, right? Remember, all the members of the group must have the same information. So you must wait until it's inactive, then you can add the members. Then when it switches back to active, then you write to all three of them. If that's three, if it's three is the number that you added.
So what if when you're doing it and only one group is inactive? What are you going to do with the other two groups?
You wait until they switch, or you force the log switch.
Okay.
Yes, you can force it to switch, or you can wait until it switches. Then it becomes inactive. Then you can do it then.
Okay.
Oh,
yes.
Question: If you want to change the size, the Redo-log, you have to drop the group before you change the size, or you can change the size. You don't have to drop the group.
Well,
my question is, if you want to change the size, the Redo-log, you have to drop the group, like group 1. If you want to change the size and multiply the member, you have to drop the group, maybe group 1, you want to change the size and multiply the member, you have to drop the group before.
No, you don't have to. I'm hearing, I understand. I'm thinking you're talking something different. You're repeating the same thing. I'm just saying that, no, you don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to. Again, let this group be inactive and you can alter the sizes because when they are inactive, anything can happen to it. I just want the groups to be consistent because it's best for best group practice. I don't want you to switch and then you're writing smaller, then it switches, then it's making your archive log files of different sizes. And that is not good. That can adversely affect when you're performing recoveries. I want the sizes to be the same. So if you want to take them all up, you increase all of them. But the important thing here, the technique to play with Redo-log files is don't try to do anything to the current. Because the current is having information on it at that time. People do that and drop it because it is easier. or they feel it is easier. Let me put it that way.
So dropping a group is just an option.
Well, it's an option. I mean, if the review log file, if the review log group is inactive, I don't care about it because all the information is in the archive log file. So I don't really care. So even if you drop it, I'm not losing anything. That's the same behind it. I'm not losing anything. So if it cares, it doesn't matter. I'm not losing data. But that's my bottom line. Am I losing data? If I'm losing data, then I'm going to worry about it. But if I'm not losing data, I don't really care. Because it's inactive, or yes, it's inactive. Means that all the information there has already been archived. So there's nothing there that I need.
Go. Arrête l'homme là où il y a le fond. Je t'explique vraiment. Tu ne vois pas les flèches comme ça, marque au sol que tu as tourné.
Lisa, what is this? People are already attending the class in the morning, you come in the night and be disturbing. It's a privilege to do the class twice, it's not a must. But if you don't do that, it means you will mute yourself. Any question? Next, please. All right. I'll take you to this diagram. Close it.
Hi, Prof.
Yes.
Can I ask a real quick question?
Sure, go ahead.
I just want to confirm whether the FRA is a centralized location for all database backup, or each database must have its FRA location.
Well, each each database must have an FRA. Are we good?
Yes,
but
sir.
The FRA for all the database should be pointing to that same one location.
To the same location.
But yeah, but you understand what I first said, right?
That's right.
Each database must have an FRA, correct?
Yes.
But I want all the databases to be pointing to the same FRA on that server, which is the backup location. The server has one backup location, right? Even if there are 10 databases. But you must go to every database and configure.
Oh, and direct.
You must go into every database and configure the parameter DB recovery file desk, point it to the FRA, and give it the size. Am I making sense? Have you understood? I'm talking, some people are just bent on making sure that they cannot mute themselves, but they keep. All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Each database must have an FRA. You can make it for that server one location just for the backups. You create a backup device and you have called it what's data plus FRA, but you must point every database to that location because every database has its own independent parameter file. The fact that if you do it for XXDML does not mean that it's going to work for XXDev. No, XXDev must point to that location. And once you back it up, Alman knows to create another directory for XXDEV and put its own backup information in there. If I ask you to back up two databases, I expect you to see both in the same FRA. And I open the FRA, I'm supposed to see two.
So, Prof, in other words, if I'm done with a particular database by pointing to the FRA location, and I have to move to another database, I still have to do mkdir for that particular database before
No, you've already created it in the operating system. Now you have to point to it.
Oh, just point, okay.
No, because look, with what is not common, they have independent parameter files, the two databases.
Okay.
But that location is common to both of them.
Okay.
Both databases can see the /data/FRA.
Okay.
So that one already exists because it exists, and it doesn't like you seem like you want to place a new /data for every database. No, that /data with hundreds of gigabytes has already been created. Just put all your databases there. So your FRA has already been created. Point all your databases, go to that parameter. Every database has a parameter file. And go to that parameter file and point it to /data/FRA/.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much, sir.
No problem. Questions? All right. I want you to understand the difference between restore and recover. Restore is I go to my backups and I take these files here and I bring them to my database location. This is my database. So, what happens when there is a crash? I have to come and delete these files. Correct? Right?
Yes, sir.
I have to come and delete the files because they are corrupted, they are crashed. But I have to do what? I have to go to my backup and note that they are my inconsistent backups, and I copy those files. I copy my backup files to where? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I copy them to my backup location. But note, these files were taken when the database was offline. So it was online. What does that mean? These files are inconsistent. How do I make it consistent? I apply these archive log files onto these files that I brought to my database location. So after I restore, this process of copying these files to here is restore, and the process of applying the archive log files is what is called recovery. All right? Apply the archive log files. I apply these guys from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. and then I continue till the time of the class. Continue recovery till the time of the crash. Are you following? And I will recover until 11 o'clock when our database was crashed. And then I have a fully restored and recovered database with zero data loss. Does anybody have a question what this restore and recovery means? If we lose all our files, that's what we're going to do. If we lose one file, we're going to copy that one file and then recover that one file. If we use, so what we want to do today is we want to see different types of recoveries, or different scenarios that will occur. When we lose a file, it could be a critical file, it could be a non-critical file, how do we recover them? We're going to use a tool which is called Recovery Manager. Recovery Manager, we can call it from Ironman, we can call it from Enterprise Manager, and it will help us perform recoveries. So, we're starting chapter 16. Any questions?
I didn't understand.
Any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
So both the restore and the recovery are both done when the database is shut down, right?
Remember, you said the database crashed,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
In this case, because all the files are down, there is no database, so it must be done, right?
Yeah.
But remember, I said we are going to do different scenarios of recoveries because there are some recoveries that we are going to do when the database is up and running. That is when there is a non-critical file that is crashed. But we can also have scenarios when the critical files crash. In that case, you must shut down the database. So there are two different scenarios which will call for different types of recoveries. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to do both scenarios today. Question. If there are no data files, it means that there is no database. So definitely the database is down. All right. So let's go to chapter 16. We are going to, after completing this lesson, we should be able to determine the need to perform recovery. All right. Again, there are different scenarios. There's a situation where a file can be recovered or restored and recovered, and we don't need to shut down the database. Like I said, you go to Walmart and grocery has a spill on it. Why are you shutting down the entire store? People need to buy electronics. If we go in there and they said what is it called? The hardware tools, is shut down. People need to buy paperwork. People need to buy bedroom things, and so on. So if it is not a critical file, if it is not a critical part of the database, we're going to leave that database up and running while we perform our restore and recovery to whichever data file. We'll do both scenarios. All right? You can access different interfaces of our recovery manager. So access different interfaces such as using Enterprise Manager. We'll use that to restore and recover. We're also going to use the command line to restore and recover. We're going to describe and use available options such as RMAN and the Data Recovery Advisor. The Data Recovery Advisor is the best thing that has ever happened to database crashes and recovery. It tells you everything and very, very simple to manipulate. All right? We can perform recoveries of control files, of redo log files, and also of our different data files. Again, depending on the type of data file that crashes, will determine what type of recovery we need to perform. All right. These are some statements that we need to understand and understand to the full. To open a database, which means the database is in mount state, right? And if you want to open it, for that database to open, all control files must be present and synchronized. Is that a true statement?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. All online data files must be present and synchronized. Is that a true statement?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. At least one member of each redo log group must be present. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
All right. So these things must happen. Look at the first one. All control files must be present. We know that, and synchronized, we know that all control files are needed all the time. What does that mean? It means that if we have 3 control files and one goes down, the entire database goes down. All right? All online data files must be present and synchronized. If the database wants to open and one of the files is not fully recovered, or the SCN in that data file header is different from the SCN in the control file, that database is not going to open. So all online data files must be present and they must be synchronized. The database will. We know that it is not the same. Control file is not the same for renew log, because renew log, if one member is present, the database will open. If all the members are present, fine. But if one goes down while the others are there, a database will not go down, or a database will not stay mounted, it will open. As a database moves from the shutdown stage to being fully open, it performs internal consistency checks with the following stages. No mount. For instance, to reach the no mount state, which is also known as the started state, no mount, the instance must read the parameter file. No data files are checked while your instance is in the no mount state. Not at all. All it does is it checks one file called the parameter file. It knows what it needs to use the various values for our instance to run. An instance, as we know, can exist without the database, without the data files. All right. As the instance moves from the started state to the mount state, it checks whether all the control files that are listed in the parameter file are present and synchronized. Are all the control files present? Yes. Do they all have the same timestamp and the same SCN numbers? Yes. Good. Our instance is going to mount. Remember, just the control files is needed to mount the instance. It says, if even one of the control file is missing, or it is corrupt, or something is wrong with even one of our control files, the instance will go back to the no mount state. Noting the missing file, it will tell you, I cannot mount because control file 02 has a problem and is going to go back to the no mount state or the started state. All right? And the administrator, and then the instance will remain in the no mount state. All right. Again, you must make sure that all the control files are synchronized. Then, if you're moving from the mount state to the open state, when the instance moves from the mount state to the open state, the following will happen. One, it first of all checks whether all your redo log groups known to the control file has at least one member present. So first it checks is the redo log files. It says, do we have at least one member present in the redo log group? If you say yes, you have at least a member present in the redo log group. All right. If there is a missing member in the redo log group, that missing member will be written in the alert log file. All right. It does not stop the instance from opening. It just notifies that, hey, member 3 has a problem. Member 2 has a problem. But if the entire group has a problem, it is not going to open. Next, to open, it first of all verifies about our redo log files. The next thing it does is now it goes to the data files themselves. It verifies that all data files known to the control file are present unless they have been taken offline. So it makes sure that all the data files are present except you have taken it offline. All right? Offline files are not checked until the administrator tries to bring them back online. All right? So sometimes you can take files offline to fix them for maintenance or whatever, as long as it's not a critical file. The administrator may take a data file offline and open the instance if the data file does not belong to the system or the undo table spaces. So we have two files, the system file and the undo files. These files must be present all the time. They are called critical data files. If they are not present, the database is going to shut down. Any other file, we can deal with it. You know, we can open the database and fix that file. But the system file and the undo file, you can never take them offline. Else, the database will crash. If any files are missing, an error noting the first file that is missing will be returned to the administrator, and the instance remains in the no mount state. Are we following? So if you're trying to open a database and one of your files are missing, an error will come out and it will show the first file on the list. All right? It does not mean that that is the only file that has a problem. So that's what you have to note. So once you see that you have a file has a problem, your first instinct is not just to run and go and say, hey, let me fix that file. Else, you may come back and find out that there's another file has a problem. Then you fix that one, you still open again, then there's another one. No. So it says that when you have a situation where it gives you a file is missing or corrupt, know that that may not be the only file that needs attention. What you need to do is to query a dynamic performance view, a data dictionary dynamic performance view called $recover file. If you query that and say, show me the name of all the files that has an issue, you will now see all the files and you can recover all of them at once. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, if any files are missing, an error noting the first file is returned to the administrator and the instance will remain in the mount state. When the instance finds files that are missing, only the first file causing a problem will appear in the error message. To find all files that need recovery, the administrator can check your $recover file dynamic performance view to now get a complete list of all the files that may need assistance or attention. So this is an example. You do a startup, the instance starts, database mounts, you go to open. It says cannot identify file number 4, right? So your issue is not to just go back and start fixing file number 4. All right, says data file number 4, it gives the name. So it says go and run a small query, right? Which says select name and error from $data file, join $recover file using the file number. And guess what? Now look at, see, in this case, it gives us 2 files. So which of the files have issues here? User 01, right? And what? And what?
An example 01.
An example 01.dbs. You see, the other one says file not found. So now we know we have 2 files. We can go and search for the 2 files that we don't have. We need to perform a restore and a recovery. The next is that after it checks the files that are not found, that needs a restore. The next is it verifies that all the data files that are not offline, which means that are not offline or read-only, that they are synchronized with the SCN. That what is synchronized with the SCN? I'm sorry, with the control file. It verifies that all data files that are not offline or read-only are synchronized with the control file. What are we synchronizing here?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, if necessary, instance recovery is automatically performed. So the file is there, but the SCNs do not match. Does that make sense? The first case was what? The file is not found. The second case is it will verify, 1, if the SCNs are there and synchronized. However, if a file is out of synchronization, to the extent that it cannot be recovered by using your online rule log groups, then the administrator must perform media recovery. So we must go and get what? Media recovery. We must go and get archive logs because that information is not found in the review logs. All right? Yes. Any files require data, requires media recovery, an error message noting what? The first file requiring media recovery will show up, right? Should we just jump and start trying to recover that file?
No.
What should we do? We should go and query our $recover file so we can see all the files that need media recovery. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
The first one we check and we verify and make sure that we see all the files that needed to be restored. The files were not found. Here the files are found, but they are not in sync. So we perform recovery. In the first case, the files are not found. We have to perform a restore and a recover. Again, $recover file will give you a complete list of the files that need attention. Files that are present and require media recovery are listed, but no error messages will be displayed. So simply list the files that need recovery. All right. Let's go and say that that is what it will take to take a database from the no mount state to the open state. So What happens if that file is now in the open state? That database is now open. What will cause it to go down? What will happen for that database to say, I can no longer be open, I'm going to go down, I'm going to crash? So after your database is open, it fails in the case of what? Loss of what? If a control file, one control file goes down, is the database going to go down?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. If a data file belonging to the system or undo table space, if they go down, will the database go down?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Because
They are considered what?
as critical files.
Critical files. Very good. Who said that?
Natu.
Natu. Fortunately for me, I cannot give $20 because we are fine.
Yes,
And distance.
Cash app.
No, I don't do that. I don't. That's modern technology.
Zena.
That is. I don't do that. Cash is cash.
But you receive from Zelle.
From today, we will not do that again now.
There are some who go down.
So Zelle is only one who wait.
What if an entire rule log group goes down? Will the database go down?
Yes, sir.
Yes. If an entire group goes down. If one member is remaining, will it go down?
No.
No, sir.
No, very good. As long as there are at least one member of the group is available, your instance will remain very good. So after the database, was there a question?
No, sir.
All right. After a database is open, instance failure can be caused by media failure, for example, by the loss of a control file, the loss of an entire review log group, or the loss of a data file belonging to the system or the undo table spaces. Even if an inactive review log group is lost, your database will eventually fail due to log switches. Does that make sense? Let's say we are writing now, our current review log group is review group 1, right? And all the entire review log group 3 fails. The database is not going to go down because log writer is seeing, is able to write to group 1. But if it goes, it will switch log to group 2 at some point, right? And at some point, it's going to switch to group 3, then realize that the whole group is down, so it will eventually come to a crash. That's what it means here. And even if an inactive review log group is lost, the database will eventually fail due to the log switches. In many cases, the failed instance does not completely shut down, but it is unable to continue to perform work. Does that make sense? It says that we may lose a system file, right? The instance is not going to shut down, but you cannot do anything to that database. Are we good? Yes. Recovering from this type of media recovery must be done with your database down. For example, like I said, system, right? Or undo critical data files. As a result, the administrator must shut down abort, right? Must use your shutdown abort command before beginning recovery efforts. Are we following? So
yes, sir.
there's just a situation where you shut it down, it cannot go down, then you have to force it down. All right. The loss of data files belonging to other table spaces does not cause instance failure. Are we following? So if it is not system or undo, the rest of it, the files will fail, no problem, but it will not cause the instance to fail. And your database can be recovered while your data, and the files can be recovered while your database is open. All right? With continuing work in other table spaces. So life continues with other table spaces. These errors can be detected by inspecting the alert log or by using your data recovery advisor. All right? So your new best friend is called what? Data recovery advisor. Are we following?
Yes.
Your new best friend. In fact, let us call it your boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever it is. You said that if you are married, you are going to marry a second wife called Oracle. Or you are going to marry a second husband called Oracle. This is the one of the ones you are going to love this tool because it will save your life over and over and over. All right. The data recovery advisor is used for fast detection, analysis, and repair of failures. We have what we call downtime failures and runtime failures. What is downtime failure? Those kind of failures that we must shut down the database, like the failure of what? Critical files, correct? We also have runtime failures. What are runtime failures? Database is up and running. We say if it's a non-critical file, we don't have to shut down the database. We can fix it while the database is up and running. We're going to take a look at a couple of examples. And also minimizing disruptions for users, because if users are buying their electronics and shoes goes down, we don't want them to be disrupted, right? They are buying their electronics, let them continue, business continues. Data recovery advisor, we are going to have two interfaces to interact with it. We're going to use the enterprise manager, we're also going to use Ironman, all right? This data recovery advisor is best used in a single instance, which is what we have right now, not in a rack environment, but it supports what we call data guard or standby databases. All right, all right, all right. The data recovery advisor automatically gathers data failures information when an error is encountered. In addition, it can proactively check for failures. In this mode, it can potentially detect and analyze data failures before a database process discovers the corruption and will signal an error. Note that repairs are always under your control. Data failures can be very serious. For example, if your current log files are missing, you cannot open your database. Some data failures, like block corruptions in data files, they are not catastrophic because they do not take your database down or prevent you from opening the database. We said that before, right? So the data recovery advisor handles both cases. The one when you cannot start up your database because required data files are missing, and also missing, inconsistent, and corrupted, and also the one when the file corruptions are discovered during runtime. So those which cannot enable you to start your database, those which will occur while your database is running. The preferred way to address serious data failures is as follows, right? It says, if you have a data failure, you know what, we'll talk what the data guard is. We talked about it before, a standby database. Did we ever talk about the standby database before?
Yes, we heard that.
What did I say? I said it was a data guard, standing guard. Every transaction that is entered into your current database will ship an archive log over there and apply that archive log. So means that this your standby database is one archive log away from being fully vested. So what we're saying in this case, what this person is saying is that the preferred way to handle these situations, look, what we care about is uptime, 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 uptime. What is uptime? Availability, availability, availability. We want our databases available all the time. So what are we saying? We are saying that immediately you find you have a crash, try to just apply that last archive log for 2 minutes, then you try move everybody to that standby database. Then you open the standby database. It will take you a few minutes. Then you can come and find out what is wrong with the main database, because that may take you 1, 2, 3 hours to fix. Are we good? You don't want to keep your users waiting. You don't know what the corruption is. We know that corruptions can occur due to so many different things. Does that make sense? So we say, fail over everybody to your standby database and let them be using that standby database as the primary database for now. They are entering their data there, they are seeing all the data they are using. Outage was what? 5 minutes. Now you come and look at the primary database that had the crash, take your time, fix it, and do whatever you want to do with it. Then you synchronize the two databases, and then you move everybody back to the production. And the standby goes back to being a standby. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
We all understand what the standby database is, right? It is on constant recovery mode. One of your archive logs is going there and we are applying it. It means that your database is following your database. It's one archive log away. All right. When you do data guard, you will understand how you can do it for maximum protection, maximum performance, etc., etc. All right. So we're going to configure data guard at some point in the course when we get to projects. So the preferred way to address a database failure is you fail the database over to a standby if you are in a data guard configuration. This allows your users to come back as soon as possible. Then you go back to the primary, repair the cause of the data failure, right? Fortunately, your users had to spend only what? The 5 minutes that it took you to fail over, as opposed to what? The 3 hours that you used to fix this. It could be 3 days too. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
The most important thing is what? Let our users come back online. All right, we're going to interact with data recovery advisor. First, we're going to try to, somebody give me your machine. Make sure that your backups run successfully. Please, please, please. It's very important because I'm going to try a few things on your machines now. Whose database ran successfully? It's a question, it's a real question. Whose database backups ran successfully? Okay.
173. 173.
173. One, 7, 3. I'm going here to verify that our backup ran successfully. All right, so availability. Backup reports. Okay, I'm interested in the ones that ran, so that's it failed. You know why this one failed?
So I know why.
Okay, very good. So I fixed it. So, okay, yes, you went and spoiled your SP file, right? So you
Yes,
fixed
sir.
it, you see they're all running now. So that's very good. So we are good to go. I have last night's backup, so you can be our candidate. 173. All right, student 173.
Professor.
Mm-hmm.
So her backups are in PM.
What?
Her backups are like in the PM, 3 PM.
Let me see. What happened?
It's PM.
It's the time that she set it now.
Okay. So it doesn't matter?
It does matter. She's not supposed to make it do 3. It's supposed to be AM, right?
Right.
Start time was AM. But I'm saying that it's after 3 PM, it's already backed up so I can use it. But you have to go and fix your job. Right, Marie?
Yeah.
So go ahead and try to change your time to AM so that it does not start running when you are, if you just work running during the day.
Okay.
All right. But our class is in the night, so maybe she knows why. Let's just pretend that she knew why. Okay, 173 on 40. That's not you. What's the database name?
MMGMO.
MM.
Yes, sir.
I think this is you. No?
No, that's not mine.
That looks fine. Cool. Same person. This is you, right? MM?
MMGMO, yes, sir.
Yeah, can I work with yours? Okay, Oracle. All right, everybody can see the screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we're going to try to do, I'm also going to log into, new session. (173), correct? Oracle, 26. All right. I want to disconnect that session so I can stay just with that session. 173, okay. All right, so first things, we want to go to our, we want to connect to her database. We want to specify MMGMO, correct?
Yes,
Are we
Yes,
good?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we need to connect to Arman because we're trying to use the command line to go invoke your data recovery advisor, right? Then we are going to delete some files, right? We'll first of all delete non-critical files, and then we'll see how we can get them back up. Then we'll delete critical files. Then we'll also go to Enterprise Manager and see how we can do them. We can do them both on command line, and Enterprise Manager will start with the command line. So you can invoke call Arman. So that is Arman. And from Arman, we can invoke your data recovery advisor by saying list failure or that's calling for that from your data recovery advisor. List failure or what did he say? It says no failures were found that match specification. So she does not have any failures. Do we agree?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I want us to go cause some failures. Let's go look for trouble. Let's go to Marie's database. Where are her data files? / or her data / what? MMDMO, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's what we say. Do not try this at home. All right? We'll start deleting her files. We're destroying files here. File called what? Black. Okay. Black 2, Black 3, Bobo 1, blah, 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 book. Have files here, bottles, blah, blah, blah. You can even delete one thing. After all, I can sell it down school, especially evening class. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 files. Delete them, okay? You see what I'm doing?
Yes, sir.
Never try this at home because this is destroying your database. You're going to delete your data files from the operating system, which means control file knows that this file still exists.
Yes, sir.
So let's butcher some more. Well, done 11, 12, 13, 14, let's do 15 files. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add these 15 files. Butcher them again. Trouble in the house. All right. So we know we have caused problems, right?
Yes, sir.
This database is up, the database is running, files have been destroyed. So this database, if you send it down, I cannot come back up. Because these files they are totally out of sync. All right. So what do? Let's try to see if a data recovery advisor will say it proactively goes and searches around looking for where there is trouble. Let's try. List, failure. After destroying files, list failure all. No failures found that match specification. Okay, you can tell me why we have destroyed files, but we're not seeing any failures yet. You can tell me why. Please, VI.
Because advisors take time to reflect.
Very, very good. Does that make sense? Remember with your table space advisor, what did he do? It took some time, right?
Yes.
We said it was going to take about 10 minutes. Are we good?
Yes.
So we're going to try again. List. Failure. All. Advisors take some time to run. Note that this is not running on one machine. The listener is running here. They're doing here. No failures. Okay. I'm going to see. All right. Don't go to the refrigerator. Machine is slow, eh? So we'll continue. You can force it. If you want to force it, you try to shut it down. Then that will try to force it. Or we can be patient. What do you want to do? Force it or be patient?
Be patient.
Patient.
So it's going to detect it at some point. Sometimes you got to wait that 10 minutes. Sometimes it's a little more.
Force it.
Okay. How are the study groups going?
Very good.
Which group is that? How many groups in the night? 3?
Yes, sir.
No, not 3. 4.
How many?
4.
Brian, how many people are in your group?
About 5. 5.
Okay. How is your group going?
Good, sir.
Huh?
Good.
Groups must be working. Since we are not meeting physically, these groups must be, they must be working magic. Must be working magic. Okay, I know, let me see, I think I know of, I know, Anita, your group is what? Group number 1. You have a name?
Landover?
It's what, Landover?
Yep.
So, Landover, how many of you are in the group?
7, I believe.
7. Bryant.
Yes, sir.
What's the name of your group?
Lanham.
How many of you? You said 5, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's the next group?
Buffer. Buffer team.
Buffer.
Yes, sir.
All right. Who's the leader of that group?
Natalie.
Oh, Natalie?
Yes, sir.
Where is she? I'm not heard from her in a while.
Yeah, she has been having some connection issue.
What kind of connection issues? So she's not attending the class?
Yeah, sure, she's connected.
Natalie, are you here? Is she said that she's not talking?
No, she's here. Sometimes the connection go on, sometimes off. She's here.
Oh, she's in the class, her connection is off and on?
Yes, up and on, yes.
Buffer group, Natalie, how many of you?
I believe we are like 14.
Say it again?
14.
14. All right. 4th group. Which is the 4th group?
Silver Spring.
Silver Spring?
Yes, sir.
I didn't get you. Who is the group leader of the 4th group?
Ronaldo, for the meantime.
Okay, Ronaldo. And that group is called what?
Silver Spring.
All right, Silver Spring.
We added 2 people in Lanham group yesterday, so it's 7.
Okay, so you are not 5, you are 7. And how many of you are in Silver Spring group?
11, I think.
11. Okay, 14, 14, 11. All right. Okay. Who does not have a group? If you cannot identify yourself with a group, it's not a good thing. And I need to make sure that, you know. Anyway, let's go back to our class.
Yes, sir. So this failure, is it going to be reflected in the OEM too?
I don't understand what your question.
Like, because it says, the answer was like, the advisors, they take some time to reflect. So when it reflects, is it going to be reflected in the OEM?
No, this is data recovery advisor. You're asking if you're going to send an alert? Is that a question?
No.
Or Your question is correct. Is it going to show on OEM? Uh-oh.
Yes.
Anita, what's your question? I didn't get it.
My question is, since the advisor takes some time to reflect, is it going to reflect on the OEM?
Is it going to reflect on the OEM? I don't understand.
Okay, never mind.
So maybe if I understood her, like you make these errors now, like if you go now to your enterprise manager, can you view this error on the enterprise manager? Maybe that's what she's trying to ask.
Anita, is that what you're trying to ask?
Like, can you view the alert on the OEM?
Yes, the alert.
No.
Yes.
Oh, no, you have not set an alert for it.
Okay.
Remember, before you got that table space, what did you do? You went and set the threshold for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But you can go, can you go to enterprise manager and see data recovery advisor? Yes, we're going to go there. I said we're going to go to enterprise manager, right? And do the same things. All right. So it has detected our files. Our error, right? Right?
Yes, sir. Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I have a question.
Sure.
Sir, yeah, we were aware that we need some time before it work. On Sunday,
when it's not right, you are breaking up. Just speak slowly.
Sir, are you getting me now?
Yes.
Okay. We were aware that we need some time before the command will work. On Sunday, I have
not before the command will work. We said that these things do not sit. There is an advisor that we are invoking now called data recovery advisor that go and check for any trouble in the database. These advisors do not just run all the time to give you the results all the time. For example, we know that certain things will take 10 minutes before they run, like segment space advisor. We know that statistics will take a while. So they take different times. So what we're waiting for is better 10 minutes pass. When it has done it, then let it go and capture the failure. Let it go and read again. It captures the failure. Now it's going to show. We're saying, show me something, but it's not going to come automatic because it takes time to read.
Okay, sir. So my worry is on Sunday when we're creating the FRA, at the point of alter system set DB at that command, we did everything, but we were launching it. It was not working until the third time. My worry is, that I'm trying to find out is, at that point too, it deserves some time to before it can work, or what can be the cause of that?
You were doing something wrong. When you did it right, it worked. Else you have to show me again. You were not setting any advisor. Nothing was waiting for anything. You are simply telling these things and say, alter system, set DB recovery file destination equals this. Until you did it the right time, then it worked. That's how it works all the time.
So in the class, we check all the.
I do not believe until I see it. I'm saying that this one we are waiting. We're expecting to wait until it shows up. Just like when you were going for the table space, I said, expect to wait. Just like when you start up at the instance, we say, wait until it takes some time to read. I'm telling you that no, that does not. You're writing to a file. That does not. You just did it correctly that time and it worked.
Okay.
Not everything is an advisor. Not everything you have to wait for it to work. No. This one we are waiting for something, and I've explained what we're waiting for. The other command is supposed to go and execute immediately. Anyway. So Alman least failure all, it now shows, it has now detected the failure. And it says one or more non-system data files are missing. It detects that it is not critical. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. The next thing it does is You do advice. Advice failure. All of this we're talking from where? From the data recovery advisor. These are the commands. Failure did not spell correctly. Advice. Advice failure. So I can type this one and keep typing it 250 million times, it will never work until I type it correctly, correct? Advice failure, and it starts working. It already has seen the failure, now it is going to the failure and it's looking at the failure. It says, yes, I have seen the failure. What am I doing now? Analyzing automatic repair options, checking the backups, checking the archive log files if they are there. When it saw it, guess what? It says, restore and recover of data file, 24 and 25, restore and recover. So, first of all, it gave you manual actions. Read what manual action said. It said, if file number, blah, 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 books, right, was unintentionally renamed or moved, go and restore it. All right?
Yes, sir.
We know that we did not do that. What did we do? We deleted them. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
So it keeps giving us this advice, manual options. If you did that, go and fix it. You did that, go and fix it. All right? Manual options. Wanting the person to be available if you shut down a database or restart it in the mount mode. You see black 01.dbf. I'm not sure if you want to put that file in a critical environment. Anyway, so it says that here that we can go to We can go to 9 plus 7 is 16. It says we can go to this location, U01 APP Oracle Diagnostic, RDBMS, MMDMO, Health Monitor, RICO, 2135, blah, 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 .hm. So I want us to go and look at that script, and let's see what that script says. It says we go to /U01 APP Oracle Diagnostic, correct? RDBMS, MMDMO, Health Monitor. You see that file here? RICO 2135. Do you see the file?
Yes, yes.
Open that file, and you are going to see the restore and recover operations. It says restore and recover data file. All right. It says data file 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 60, 61, 62. So first, what does it do? It takes these files offline. Then it does what? Restores the file. Then it does what next? Recover the file. And then what does it do? Bring the file online. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See, sometimes I did 15 files, but now it's 9. What happened to those other files? I don't even know if they exist in your database. That's why sometimes when your database is all wacky, these things are acting. And those part of your database, I don't even know. All right. So that is where our script is. You can take this script and actually go and run it manually on SQL, and it will do the same thing. Or you can come to your new best friend and say, restore and recover data file 4. And what do you do in this case? You say, data includes completed media recovery without data loss. So you can do now list failure or advice failure and repair failure. You see that? You see that? You see the script that we just saw, right?
Yes, sir.
And it's asking you now, do you really want to execute the above repair? What do you say?
Yes.
We'll do it for you. That's it. It took it offline. It's restoring it, if you look at it. And so it's copying it to location where it's supposed to be. All right. And it has brought the files back online. So what did he do? He went and took the files offline, restored the file, recovered the file, and guess what?
Bring it back online.
Bring it back online. So when we come here and do list failure or it says one or more non-system files and so on. So Marie, did you create some files today?
No, sir.
Did you back up your database with all these files?
Yes, sir.
Do you have some files that were offline?
Oh, I put it online before I did a full recovery.
Before you did what, the backups?
Yeah, the backup.
All right. So it says that if file or 01 black 01 was unintentionally renamed or removed, restore it. Automatic repairs may be available if you shut down your database and restart it in the mount mode. Why would this happen? You see, why people have done contact. Okay, automatic repairs may be available if you shut down and restart it in the mount mode. Or if the preceding elements cannot be used or if you cannot fix those files. Okay. Says black01.dbf. It's okay. These are the issues which I said sometimes when you start playing with these files, I don't know why it should not be, but if that file is in black01.dbf, okay. All right. So DB writer cannot see the file black01.dbf. What table space does that file belong to? It's not going to work. Something's not right with those files. Was unintentionally renamed or moved, restore it. No manual actions are available. It says, then let's do repair. 9:30, 31. Nine, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Okay, do you want to open your database? Remember we did this. This is the method for critical files, but I'm not sure why. I want to see where those files, what table spaces they belong to. Or what were the states of those table spaces. All right. So our database is now open. List failure all. Or should maintain them in read only. So we are complete with that one, right? This other one we had to go in there, but let's go now and find out our table spaces for black and the other one. System. Please try to put all your table spaces, make your data files available for these exercises to work. All right. Blah, 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 blah. Table spaces. Add black table space. It's online. No, those ones are fine. School and ship. They are fine.
There's a black is it type undo?
Oh, jeez.
That's why it was a critical.
That's why it was a critical file. Why would you do that? How can you call an undo table space black? Hey, Marie.
And pen tool, she has pen tool as black undo.
Pen tool is black.
Pen undo too.
You said you're going to have one undo table space, right? I deliberately did not create another one. You just want to select your undo. A database can have only one undo table space, right, Marie?
Yes, sir.
Then why do you create three?
I never came back to modify it. I did it.
Don't come back to modify it. This is your database that is going, eh? And you say you don't come back to modify it. A database can have only one. We know that. We said that over and over. One undo table space, because that's why we're having the problem. And why we need one? You see, that's why I suggested that it was a critical file. I'm wondering now if she has a real undo table space.
Yeah, she has.
I have it here, down here.
Undo table space 1.
Okay, that one too is undo. Delete these other undo table spaces. You can't operate like that. You know, you cannot have multiple undo table spaces. You say only one and one undo table space for each database. All right?
Okay, sir.
All right. So what we're going to do now is I want us to let's go and the database is open again, right? But let's do now a critical. Let's go and let's delete a critical data file or a data MMDMO. So let's do what? Let's delete which one? System. You can even rename. You don't have to delete. Does that make sense? If you rename the file, we cannot see it anymore. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So just watch what I do here. If I call this file old system01.dbf, I've destroyed that file, correct? Because the Oracle database is looking for what? System01.dbf. But what is that? What is the file now called? All systems 01.dbf, the major file is destroyed, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So if I go down, my database is open, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me get out of here.
Do you take a medicine even? And if you gotta eat, do you eat this evening?
Hey. All right. I want to shut you down. Okay. Okay, our system file is not good. All right. So we'll have to kill that instance by all possible means. All right. Well, it was open, correct? Cannot do that. All right, I'm going to force that instance down. MMDMO 25.27.1. So I'll kill that instance. I'll kill Pmon, so we'll take my instance down. Are we good? 25.27.1, 25.27.1. All right. So, okay. All right. And I'll do a startup, and it will start, it will mount, but it cannot open. Are we good? It will start, it will mount because of the control files are there, but it cannot open because there is a critical file that has an issue. Instance started, exactly. You see, it mounted, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Jesus.
Yes, sir.
If you guys are so reluctant, then I'll just chill. Okay. All right. So what I will do is, it's mounted, so I can call Arman, and Arman says it's connected to that thing, it's not mounted, and I can do a list. But note that, remember I said you have to force it down sometimes, right? By doing the shutdown abort, it didn't give me the chance to do shutdown abort, so that's why I went and kill an instance, and I'll do list failure all. This is for critical now. It's seen that, and I'll say advise failure. All right, say it has a script in MMDMO, which is recode 2720. So we can go take a look at the script. Slash U01 APP Oracle Diagnostic RDBMS, MMDMO, Health Monitor. You have to refresh when you come back because we're here, that first one. So the last one that they just gave us now at is which one? 27, 24, right? Recover data file 1. Sorry, restore data file 1, recover data file 1. So it's going to bring it from backup and then recover it from the time the backup till the time we crashed it just now. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's advise failure. Now we'll do what? Repair. Failure. Do you want to repair it? Yes. It's restoring system from where? From FRA. You see that?
Yes, sir.
From FRA, the destination, it says the destination to is here. Copy input data file, copy from where? Backup. So these things are easy. You are seeing what it is. Now it's doing what? It's already a file on this. It's now archive log. You see archive logs is recovering. Recover from archive log 1, archive log 2, archive log number 3. Right? Sequence 220, sequence 221, sequence 222. All right? It says I've complete. Our database was in the mount state, correct?
Yes, sir.
You want to open? Say
Yes.
So you have seen us do this both with enterprise, I'm sorry, both with critical and non-critical files, right?
Right.
All right. So we can do the same thing with Enterprise Manager. You want to see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
For critical file, must you key the instance, or it's only when you don't have the option to shut down a board?
When you don't have the option to shut down the abort. When I went for the first time, I did not kill the instance, did I?
No.
Yes, no. So I went over to SQL Plus. I killed the instance because it was not coming up. It could not really allow me to. Again, you don't know what somebody did with our database. So how can do finance, bring down inventory? I want to look at real data files, not those ones that you're going to create regular files and call them things. So I want to look at local files. So we can do all right, I'm looking for files that I can delete. Again, I'm going to go to I'm going to go to data. MMDMO. So black, all of those things are back there, right? Refresh. Look at all these black books and so all those things that we took out is back. So let's look for some files that we want to delete. Which one? Maryland was good, right?
Yes, sir.
You see the old one, we can delete this one now, right? We don't need it anymore. We have created a new one.
Okay.
Yes, we created a new one. Let me show. That one is useless because we have a new system 01.db which we copied from backup. This is it right there. Okay. That's why our database is open. So the old one has no use anymore. It's just wasting time. The database will not refer to it anymore because it's no longer in the control file listed. All right, so let's delete some files. Let's delete okay, I think pen was okay. So let's do pen 1, 2, 3. Maryland.
No, sir, pen was not okay.
Pen was not fine, yeah?
No,
pen is undo.
Do Maryland, finance.
think Brontech was good, or Bowie.
Yeah, Brownton was good.
James said Brontech was good. One cause confusion. Brontech 1, 2, 3 was good too. What about computer?
Good.
Okay, computer. All right, so we deleted some files. Bad. Delete files, now you don't have the backup, you're in trouble. So we now need to go to Enterprise Manager and see what we have done. So what are we going to do? We go to Enterprise Manager, and I would advise us to go to, let's just log out. We need to invoke Data Recovery Advisor. System. Contact 1. Okay, if we go to availability and we do perform recovery, class. Now we want to bring our data recovery advisor, we'll click on perform recovery. Data files with error. We have only 5. I thought we had more. This woman has her things there. Aye.
So you said it takes time to reflect now. You said it takes time to reflect. Maybe it's teaching.
No, you will see it all. It has already found 5. It's just that the files will be all over the place. When you have things that you cannot straight. Okay. I want to do data file recovery. And we're going to recover it to the time of crash. The host name, we're going to put our host name here, which is Oracle. And class 26. And what one of the data file. And we can now say recover. So already Maryland and the Brontech. Which other one do we do?
I think you will miss a computer.
Okay, we don't want to add any file. We can just go to next. It will tell us you cannot be running a database that dangerously, putting any file anywhere. Okay, here you will restore it in the default location, which means in the same location, or you can change location to a new location. In our case, we deleted it, so wanted it to go back into the same location. I think this is not a good example because it's not really teaching. It's making us wonder left and right what is the right thing to do. Okay, you can here you can edit the RMAN script. It's going to tell you it's going to take data file offline, it restore them, it recover them, and then it brings it back online. All right. At this point, you submit the job. Wait. Oh boy. All right, so it's done. What did he do? Did exactly what we asked it to do. Run those scripts. That's it, running the scripts. Restore, recovery from the archive logs, bringing it back online. I'm going to try another one with a critical file. I don't want to bother to see what's wrong with those files. Table spaces are all whacked up, so exercise is not coming good. Computer unable to open file. No such file or directory. I don't even know. Do you have table spaces without files, or you have files without table spaces or not matching? I don't know. All right, a database is open. Let's see. This will just cause a lot of confusion now. Okay. Okay. The thing here is that if you, well, okay. We'll just have to manage and learn this thing maybe with this error and see. I'm thinking that, let's see. It's actually not seeing anything. All right, we're going to do the critical file. And I want to show you because the critical file has something very interesting to show. So we are going to delete or rename the undo. The undo is critical, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Critical, we're going to cancel. Let's destroy that by renaming it. It seems like it's gone. All right. So I'm going to exit. And we're going to shut down. Shut down video. So it complains about our undo. Are we good?
Yes,
Are we?
sir. Yes, sir.
So it's not going to shut down because we cannot see the undo file. We must force it down. That's how we're supposed to be. And then when we do a startup, startup now is supposed to mount and then cannot open. All right? Cannot open because of our undo. But we know what happened to our undo, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you come back to R9. This failure all. All right. So since one or more missing files, non-system, of course, because it's undo, right? So we have to go back now, but we need to fix this from Enterprise Manager. It's slightly different. We must actually log out because we must log in because it's a critical file. We must log in. The database is in the mount state. So we must log in as sys. We log in. I knew this would happen. All right, now it does not like it. It has cached it and it thinks that it is.
Okay. Pillow is double L. Pillow.
Pillow.
I didn't even think of this. Is it is it on the right and still like that? Is it on the right? Yeah, it is.
No one has it.
It's two. You have is and then you use the whole word against pillow.
Hey, mute yourself.
Spill something.
Now we'll have to get that thing up. Okay, let me. All right. So we'll try to bring up our database is in the mounted state, right? You can see that. Okay. And then we have to perform recovery from that critical file. So it requires we must log in as host credentials as Oracle, and password is class 26. Okay, remember we have to log in as sys and contact 1 connection MMDMO, but we must do as well sysdba. All right. So it says you are in the mounted state and we have one data file that is wrong. All right. And that's the current status mounted. So what do we want here? We want data file because we know the data file, we know what that is. We're not doing the entire database. And we'll do advise and repair. Okay, so advise and repair takes us to like the home page. And if you want to see what we're going to work on, it will tell you the file, undo TBS1 right there. That's the file that has an issue. You can decide to do the priority, the status is still open, and so on. Here you will click on advise. You don't want to, or not want to continue with the advice, let it give us this is the recovery advisor. I watched the news and they said that the DC area is the new playground for Corona, so be very careful. We are not canceling out, we're not reassessing the failure, we know that that's a failure. Here you do continue with advice. We know what the failure is, right? And it's telling you that manually, if you unintentionally rename that, go and fix it, but we know what we want to do. Continue with advice, and then it gives you a script. Restore data file 3, recover data file 3. That's what we want to do. And you come in here, that's the script there, that's what it's restore and recover, and you do execute recovery. Like I said, so you take very, very big careful. Do not attempt anything. All right, what does it say? Did it succeed? Yes. All right. And now it says you want to open the database. You can click here to open the database. And the database is over. All right. Are we good?
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
You all seem to be sleeping.
No, sir.
Cannot?
No, sir.
Please try this at home. Try it. Make it work. You're going to recover in the exam. Problem.
Yeah,
I'll be back. Huh? I didn't get that.
Are you saying that we should do that or we should not do that?
I said you should do it. So try it at home.
So we should destroy the database.
Yes. And
Okay.
get it back because you would have to destroy it and get it back in the exam.
So what if
I will be back in 10 minutes.
it goes here?
Operator.
I will be back in 10 minutes.
Brian. Yes, DB recovery.
Doc,